And I'm David. We're here to talk about Big Brother.
Time for Big Brother. What a chaotic week.
What a crazy week. So much is going on. Let's get right into the Wednesday
Let's dive
episode.
in. Okay, so Wednesday was pretty much everything we had spoiled.
Yep.
Paul and Cody fight.
Jess and Cody fight. Christmas's great social game.
Trying to get Jessica to not use that hex.
Yes.
Let's get her to break up with Cody
Right.
and we'll evict Cody. That's
Yes.
the plan.
And then they play the veto competition. Jess and Cody don't even try. Paul wins the veto because he wins everything.
He does not. By the way, he does not.
He doesn't?
I refuse to say that. He wins a lot.
Okay.
I'm just not going to give him
But we're not
credit.
giving him any credit for
Yeah,
anything.
no. Of course he wins that one. He's
Yeah.
done it before.
Yeah. So anyway, Paul wins the veto, so then that brings us to the Thursday episode. And they're still sort of trying to get her not to use the hex, Jessica.
Thursday's episode was interesting edit because they didn't show the veto ceremony on Wednesday, which they usually do.
Yeah.
So we knew that that was still hanging in the balance.
Yep.
And then we also knew that the world practically came to an end in the BB house.
Oh my
God. And it was some super tense situations that they needed to cover. And I'm actually gonna say I thought CBS did a pretty good job of that edit. Plenty of people online are not happy with the edit because they didn't show all the gory details, but you just can't.
You can't. You can't show everything. That's what the live feeds are for.
I felt like, and how did you feel? Did you feel like overall Paul did come off not looking great in that episode?
Not great, but I think other people came off looking way worse than Paul.
I guess that's the problem. I mean, people want Paul to have a fair edit, and he often gets a better than average
He gets
edit.
a little more polish on his edit than maybe a Raven does.
Well, but she needed that edit. Oh my gosh. My favorite thing was that they included her barking like a dog.
Yes.
You cannot leave that out.
That's crazy.
That's the best. She will legitimately be embarrassed when she gets out of the house.
She better be. The whole thing was embarrassing for the whole house, and you know, some people alluded to it, like Matt said, this is not my game, even though you know, they didn't show it, but he was egging people on. But, you know, he was saying, like, this is not cool. And then I think even Josh said, like, we took it too far.
Right. Afterwards, people definitely started to see it differently. Of course, not Paul and not Christmas. Those two are like, let's go!
Yikes.
For sure.
So they're all mad at Jess because she's basically said, like, I'm gonna use the hex, you can't stop me.
Yeah.
And they had tried to make this deal with her where, you know, they would promise that Alex would be the next target and get Alex out. But then once Jess was like, the house, I don't know anything to this house, I'm using the hex, you cannot stop me, then they blew up and were just trying to get in their heads and rattle them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't legitimately know if she was actually considering not using the hex. She certainly looked like she was.
Yeah.
So maybe, no matter what, if she had not used the hex and let her one ally leave, that would have been an awful game decision.
Yeah, that would have been so foolish.
I mean, you, as much as you want to trust the rest of the house, you can't.
Of course.
And as horrible as Cody has been for your game, he's also the strongest person to protect you.
Yeah, and like, you gotta keep someone in there who will like keep you sane for your own mental well-being, you know?
So obviously she's going to use the hex and she tells Paul, well, I'm gonna use the hex, I can't trust this house. And that sends Paul into a tizzy.
Yes.
And I do want to say, before we get into like the details of this fight, I feel like this whole situation this week actually started to make Paul crack.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to tell with him because he is such a good game player and he's very strategic.
Everything is calculated.
And we know that he attacks as part of his strategy. But it looked to me like he was legitimately thrown that someone had the upper hand over him.
They had power that he couldn't control.
Right. And so like he kind of thought, well, I'll show you and I'll nominate you. And then that didn't work. And then he was like, oh, well, I'll show you and I'll get you not to use the hex. And like, that didn't work. And he's like, well, I'll just show you and I'll just be mean and have the whole house be mean. Like, it seems
Which is all
like
he could do, basically, at that point. And I think he was frustrated that his HOH was going to be a wasted week.
Yeah.
And so he just wanted to get under their skin and make them feel like crap.
I think that's great that he started to crack.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because some of the other house guests started to see a little bit of the crack.
Yep.
So all of that is good for breaking up this sort of Paul Minions run house thing. What we didn't see in the edit during this big crazy blowout fight was that it was so intense that someone ran to CBS and we had a wall yeller.
Yeah.
Someone got on a bullhorn and very clearly did a great job, by the way. Very clearly said, America loves Jessica, Paul's a bully.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you say it one time, the house puts you on a lockdown,
yes.
They don't get to hear it again, and they're all like, wait, what was it? What was it?
Yeah.
You don't know how much they heard.
Right.
They were attacking Jess and Cody. They were attacking his military status.
Yes.
Is he even a Marine? What kind of Marine would he be? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that was left out of the edit. That some people were upset about that. It was so bad that Jessica starts talking about walking, and she's like, Cody, will you walk with me? Like, what? I need to look into how you even walk and leave this house.
Right.
But like, they are at a low point.
Yes, and Cody's like, I don't want to walk, but like, I'll do whatever you want. Like, I'm in this with you.
If you're going, I'm going. Yeah.
And I imagine production has to be freaking out. Like, we can't have two people
First
walk
off,
out of
we already had someone leave.
Yeah, I know.
And you can't have like Jessica and Cody leave.
Yeah.
At this point, that's just, the show would fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't seem like she heard what the wall yeller said, but she quickly is called into the DR.
Cody's called in first, and then he gets out of the DR, and he's like, runs up to Jess, and he's like, you gotta go, people are waiting to talk to you. And she's like, I don't wanna go. And he's like, please, it's good, go.
Yeah.
So then when she comes out of the DR, total change in attitude, like renewed, refreshed.
Yes. Things are good.
Yeah.
She obviously can't say much, but she does say, I don't know who that lady was, but it was nice to get a hug. What?
I don't know what.
I don't either. I don't know who that is either. Who is that?
How is there someone that she's never met, and why are they hugging her? Like, what was the conversation? I want to know what happened.
I don't know if they told her what the wall yeller was there for.
Sure.
I don't know if they were like, look, Jessica, you got this hex from America because America loves, like, who knows what they said.
Right.
But she is in a better mood.
Yep.
She's not talking about walking.
Yes.
And we're back on track with Jessica and Cody.
So then we get to the live eviction, and, you know, as expected, she uses the hex, so no eviction.
Crazy things, hex, hex. And all I could think was, God, this would have been way cooler
if it were a surprise.
Didn't know.
I know. It really sort of took some of the air out of it. Like, it wasn't as cool.
Jessica.
They go right into the HOH competition, and then
Paul was holding firmly that he was still going to be able to play for HOH. He kept thinking, well, it must be a reset week. It's not a reset week. And you may not play for HOH.
Yeah, Paul.
So I was excited to see him just sitting there and not playing.
But then, of course, one of Paul's minions wins HOH.
And did you hear how loud he screamed when Josh got it?
Because he knew. He was like, I'm running the house for this guy.
It was so annoying to someone who's over it. But it was interesting because I thought we were about to have a shoot-off between
Cody and Christmas.
Cody. Yeah. But then Josh pulls it out. And I shut off my feeds, and I'm like, forget this week.
I know.
I can't even with Paul pulling Josh's strings, right?
Because you think, like, of course, it's just going to be Jessica and Cody back up on the block. Same old story. It's just a redo.
Yep.
But then Josh has a little bit different strategy in mind.
So on Sunday's episode, we do see that he kind of is like, hey guys, what about Elena?
Yeah, because he's like, obviously, like, Jess and Cody are the house's big targets, blah, blah. But maybe we get out Elena this week.
Obviously, Paul is like, no, Jessica and Cody. And he even said, and I think Christmas called it out in her DR, they were like, so who do we put up? And he was like, obviously Jessica and Cody. And Christmas is like, her face is like, that's obviously a good sign when we see anyone questioning the fact that Paul demands and directs. He doesn't
suggest
subtly plant seeds.
No. He's just like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's like,
if anyone talked to me like that, I would
HOH?
smack them.
Yeah.
I can't.
So now Christmas is sort of having little side conversations with Josh, and she's like, you can't let him railroad over you, or whatever term she used.
You're HOH,
you're the HOH. You're in charge. This is your week, blah, blah, blah. And she's doing it very well, like very subtly, not in a way where Josh is going to run back to Paul and tell him, and Josh is just kind of like receptive to it.
That's the kind of thing Josh needs. Josh needs to be like pumped up, and you're doing great.
And babied a little bit, you know, like Christmas is sort of like this motherly figure now to Josh, and he like feeds off that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
He needs that.
As we see in Sunday's episode, he's like, Elena. Paul's like, no, Jessica. Elena, Jessica, whatever.
Right.
Then, do we see the temptation comp in Sunday's episode? Yes.
Yes, it was the scary, strangest thing.
Right. So Cody and Jessica make a plan, which is a darn good strategy, and I can't believe no one in the house thought that they would do this.
I know.
The fact that Paul didn't figure this out beforehand. Anyway, Cody says, I'm going to try to win it, and Jessica's like, I'm going to throw it. Because then you can't get backdoored.
Yeah, she's going to be on the block. She has the opportunity to play for Veto. It's a great strategy, and they pull it off.
Totes pulled it off.
He won by like 6 seconds. It was so
I can't believe it was that close.
I know.
And I guess when she said, I just forfeit, they gave it to her.
Yeah, because I thought it was weird that it was an even 15-minute time. Like, it seemed like that was like a default, like, you just ran out of time and we're not going to let you go over that.
That was interesting that you can say, I forfeit.
Yeah.
So that's where we leave Sunday's episode, right?
Right. Well, no, at the end of Sunday's episode, Josh finally puts up his own nominees.
Oh, right.
And so he puts up Mark and Elena on the block.
Because Cody is safe and Jessica's a given, he has to come up with 2 people.
Yes.
And he does Mark and Elena.
Yes.
Obviously, he's doing Mark and Elena for the house, but he legitimately wants Elena out. Now, spoilers!
Yes.
I was so excited when I heard Josh talking about how he really wanted Elena and how he didn't want Paul to run his HOH. That's a big statement.
Come on. Yes.
Christmas is supporting it. They had multiple conversations about, Elena shady. She's in with Paul. Can't really trust her.
Right.
She's in the
playing
middle.
Both sides.
Yeah. Plenty of good reasons to get Elena out.
Right.
He also talked to Kevin. He talked to Alex. He talked to Jason.
And he has these people on board.
Seeds. I don't think that Alex is really on board because Alex hates Jessica.
Right.
She wants to get Jessica out.
And Alex is under Paul's spell.
Right. But she's going to go with that group, and if that's what they're saying, Elena's going to go, she's going to go for that.
Yeah.
Paul obviously keeps squashing it. Here's where things get really, really interesting.
Yeah.
At one point in the week, Paul brings up Christmas's ring of replacement and is like, this is a good time to use it.
Yeah.
Christmas's first response was like, oh, yeah, maybe.
Like, I don't even know if it's valid.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check on if that's a good idea, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So it seemed like she wasn't ready to play that, right? Of course. So then on Saturday morning, Christmas and Josh are having another one of these conversations, and Josh is like, there's no reason for you to use your ring of replacement. We have 3 targets on the block.
So even if Jessica comes down, who cares? Get out Mark or Elena.
Any one of them going, great for them. So why would you waste your temptation for this? And Christmas is like, yeah, I agree. And she even says to Josh, you know what, if you went Veto, you should probably pull Jessica off the block to make sure
that his target goes home.
Which is true. If he really wanted Elena to go home, that was the way he needed to do it.
Now, I don't actually think that would have gone over well at all. And I think it would have been a really risky move for him because then Paul's going to feel betrayed and who knows, Paul might turn on him and target him the next week. Right. But it's just, again, it's just nice to see a couple of people who are finally like, I don't really love being told what to do all the time. Paul is just sort of railroading all over everyone and I don't want to
Here's some other options.
Yes.
Here's some other ideas.
So Christmas and Josh go and talk to Paul.
Christmas does know we have to like tread carefully with Paul, and she was like, look, we can't blindside him. We need to let him in on our conversation and just let him know I'm not using the ring of replacement.
Yeah, I need to save it.
We want Elena to go, blah, blah, blah. So they go do that. Of course, Paul, he's not on board with any of it.
Right. They're like, oh, we think maybe she should save the ring of replacement. He's like, no, you should use it.
And then he's like, but Elena, I want Elena to go home. Yeah, great. It's your HOH, but Jessica needs to go home. Yeah. They have this whole long conversation. Josh is standing his ground, trying to make it clear, you know, this is my HOH and these are my targets, this is what I want to happen, you know, and he's kind of saying like, I did what you wanted for your HOH, like, respect my HOH.
Totally.
But it isn't really how an HOH works, but I was proud of Josh for trying to stand his ground. Yeah. I also was like, well, this is obvious, like, Paul's making it obvious that he's protecting Elena.
Obviously.
Christmas and Josh are already on to Paul. Yeah. They're gonna leave this conversation and say, whoa, like, we have to move forward on Elena because Paul's protecting her.
Exactly. And like they have to walk away from that and be like, it's even worse than we thought. Like we thought Elena was just in Paul's ear, but now he's so adamantly protecting her, trying to save her. So then we get
obviously we're naive.
Yeah, right. Because we get to the veto ceremony, the feed's cut.
Come back.
And Christmas has used the ring of replacement.
My head exploded when I saw this.
It's insane. Like
I'm shocked.
And my first thought, which I hope is the case, was just that Christmas was probably nervous that Paul was so adamant that she used it. If she didn't use it, she would be his next target because he would say, I can't trust you, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, I hope that he didn't actually convince her that this was the right thing to do. Right. But what you said.
But I just have to say, like, why couldn't she have just said, oh, it's expired, I asked in the DR, I can't use it anymore, and then save it for later when you actually need it to save yourself or to get one of your targets out?
Could not believe she did that. Like, there might very well be a time when she needs that.
Yep.
And it's
gonna be gone. Yeah. So Cody is obviously upset because he was drawn to play for the veto. He wanted to save Jess. He's crying.
Jessica's pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see it on TV.
Christmas, who has just been like trying to be so nice to her.
Yeah.
Oh, you can be back in the house if you just get rid of Cody, blah, 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 blah. Does this huge move against Jessica.
Yeah.
Like, that's a blatant game move in your face.
Yeah.
Christmas was like, she takes everything personal. And I was like, this was a game move that you made, and she's mad that you made it. I don't see anything personal about it.
Right. She's allowed to be upset.
Oh my gosh. I just can't believe that drama. Josh was he wasn't vocally like, I can't believe this happened, but you could tell he was like sulking and he wasn't happy that
because he knows he's not in control.
And
at the end of the day, like, Jessica is probably going to go home and it's not his target.
And Christmas went and did something they said that she wasn't going to do.
Right. So they play the veto.
Mark
wins the veto.
Bummed that Jessica didn't win only because that just adds more drama to this whole shebang.
Right.
But Mark wins.
And he pulls himself off the block.
When he won, Josh and Christmas and Matt were like, you can't use the veto, Mark. Like, you're just a pawn. You can't pull yourself off the block.
Which is kind of true. He's not the target.
Right, he's not the target, but if you ever are in that house on the block and you win veto and don't pull yourself off, you deserve to go.
Right, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You can't not use your veto.
They're not lying to him, but what a stupid move to not pull yourself off the block when you've won the veto.
But they were like straight up like, you're showing the house that you're with Cody still if you use it. And he was like, no. Mark's like, I'm not, no. He's like, I'm taking myself off the block. Like, what? I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that Paul was the one person who was like, obviously he's going to take himself down. Like, why are we upset about that?
This is stupid.
Because Matt and Christmas were legitimately like, no, we're going to use this against Mark because he did this. Like, they are straight up don't understand why he would be fine just leaving himself on the block.
It's so dumb.
So dumb. So they put Raven up because Raven offered, because she said, if you put me up as the next pawn, I can hold that against Mark and I can put him up when I'm HOH. Okay, first off, why don't you win an HOH, Raven?
Yeah,
and second off, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
It's such twisted logic.
But that's her plan.
Yeah.
So that's why she volunteered and she's now on the block.
But she's like obviously not the target. She's a nothing nominee. Like,
yeah, this is a pretty safe week for you to just sit up on the block.
It's going to be split between Elena and
I will
Jess,
say,
if it's split at all.
It's interesting because the house is now annoyed with Raven. A lot of people are talking about how her accent is convenient and changes periodically. They're over all of her sad sob stories about her, all of her ailments. It's always something. So I think that that's funny that it started out like, just let Raven win. And now they're like, Raven's got to go.
Yeah. So that's where we are,
So that's where we are. Now, I will say that since all of this, they keep flip-flopping between Elena and Jessica because Josh is still trying to talk to people about it, and Christmas is still being supportive about that. But I don't think that Paul's gonna let that happen.
It's just not the time. They don't have the numbers. You can't turn on Paul at this point in the game because he still has too much power. Too many people are like under his thumb.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see the cracks, and I'm glad to see that people are starting to question things.
Yes.
But now it's not the time because I think Christmas and Josh both know that if they don't do what Paul says, he's going to target them next, and they're out. You know what I mean?
It's too risky. They'd have to convince Paul that it's okay for Elena to go, and it's just not going to happen right now.
Sadly, Jessica's going to go.
It is sad that she's going to go this early. She's been a darn good competitor.
Yeah, and she doesn't even make jury, so it's the last we're going to see of Jessica.
Bummer. Okay, drama. I mean, good job you guys who watch, because we survived one of the most stressful weeks where I was like, this is too much. I can't handle
I know.
all of the attacking.
Yeah.
And then, of course, whoever HOH is, it's down to like, will they get Cody out or is Cody going to win HOH?
Right.
Basically, they've got Mark in a tough place because Mark and Elena both have to put Cody up if they win because they have to prove themselves.
Right.
I'm interested to see if anything changes and they're actually able to get someone else besides Jessica out, I don't know.
We'll see.
I doubt it.
But let us know what you guys think. Who are you liking? Who are you rooting for? What do you think of the whole big fight? Who do you think came out the worst?
All right, thank you guys.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.